You are 21 years old, and you are folded inside a sack of leather and rough hemp, curled in the dark like cargo. A servant carries you across your own marble floor, the floor of the richest palace on earth, and it belongs to you. But tonight you cannot walk through your own halls. Your little brother has put a price on your head. You have no army you can reach. You have no treasure you can touch. All you have is this sack, the dust in your lungs, and 10 minutes to seduce the most powerful man alive before his guards decide what to do with you. You are Cleopatra. You are worth $96 billion, and you are being smuggled through your own home like a rolled-up rug. This is the life you were born to live, always betting everything, always with the end standing just behind your shoulder. But to understand how a goddess ends up delivered in a laundry bag, we have to go back to the beginning.
You are born in the winter palace of Alexandria, and the first air you breathe is thick with burning myrrh. Outside your nursery window stands a city that looks like the future. 30-meter avenues paved in white marble, so bright it can blind a man at noon, and a tower of fire on the horizon, the great lighthouse throwing its glow 50 kilometers out to sea. This is not the Egypt of dusty pyramids. Those tombs are already 2,500 years old when you draw your first breath. Ancient tourist ruins, even to you. No, you are born into the Dubai of the ancient world, into a treasure house wrapped in limestone and gold. And here is the first riddle of your life. You are not Egyptian, not by blood. You are Greek, Macedonian, the descendant of one of Alexander the Great's own generals, a soldier who carved off Egypt for himself when the conqueror's empire was divided like spoils. For 300 years, your family, the Ptolemies, has sat on this throne. You carry 3 centuries of dynasty on your small shoulders before you can even speak. Every ancestor who held this crown is whispering the same command into your cradle. Hold the gold, hold the throne, never let go. But this golden cradle has a shadow stitched into it, and you learn that early. Your family does not love, your family competes. To a Ptolemy, a brother is not blood. A brother is a rival shareholder in the most profitable company that has ever existed. And the company is Egypt itself, the richest land on the face of the planet, the one kingdom that feeds a starving Rome. Whoever controls these grain ports controls the hunger of 1 million Roman bellies. That is the prize. That is what you are born holding. And everyone in your own household wants to pull it from your hands.
You are still a girl when you watch the first lesson play out in front of you. Your father, Ptolemy XII, mocked across the world as the flute player, is driven out of Alexandria and runs to Rome to beg on his knees for soldiers and silver to buy his throne back. While he is gone, your older sister Berenice does the unthinkable. She takes the crown for herself. And when your father finally claws his way home with Roman steel behind him, he does not forgive her. He does not embrace her. On his command, your sister is removed from the world, quietly, completely, so that no rival blood remains to challenge him. You are watching. You are learning, and the lesson carves itself into you forever. In this family, the crown is worth more than a daughter, more than a sister, more than blood itself. Then your father's final breath comes, and his will lands on you like a stone. You are 18, the richest teenager who has ever lived, and the document orders you to share the throne and to marry your own brother, Ptolemy XIII, a child of just 10 years old.
a child you must room beside, sleep in the same dynasty beside, and one day fight to the end. His advisors are already circling. A scheming eunuch named Pothinus has the boy king's ear, and he sees in your youth not a queen, but an opportunity to be seized. Your younger sister, Arsinoe, watches you too, calculating, waiting for her own moment to reach for the gold. You are 18 years old. You wear the crown of a living goddess. You own the most fertile ground on earth, a private fortune larger than entire nations, and every single person who shares your blood is already planning to take it from you. You are 21 when the knife of your own family finally comes for you. The eunuch Pothinus has spent months pouring poison into the ear of your boy husband, Ptolemy XIII, and one morning the palace guards no longer bow to you. They turn you out. The richest woman alive is driven into the burning desert with nothing but the clothes on your back and a price on your head. A lesser heir would have begged. A lesser heir would have run to a foreign court and lived out her days as a guest, mourning a lost crown. You do not, because you understand something the boy and his eunuch do not. Gold is not the throne. Gold buys the throne. And even exiled, even hunted, your name is still worth a fortune. So in the eastern sands, you do the unthinkable for a girl of 21. You open your bloodline like a credit line, and you raise a mercenary army. You are not finished. You are reloading. Then the most powerful man on earth sails into your harbor. Julius Caesar, the dictator of Rome, the man who has conquered nations for sport, takes residence inside your palace to settle the squabble between you and your brother. Whoever reaches Caesar first wins Egypt. Your brother controls every door, every hall, every guard with orders to put a spear through your throat the moment you appear. So you do not appear. You arrive as cargo. You recruit one loyal servant, a Sicilian named Apollodorus. The smell of rough leather and dust floods your lungs as you fold your body into a great sack used for hauling bed linens. He throws you over his shoulder. Every step past a sentry is one heartbeat closer to the edge of the world. He carries the richest woman alive straight through her own enemy's blockade, because who searches the laundry? He reaches Caesar's chamber, drops the bundle on the marble, and cuts the cord, and you spill out onto the floor, hair wild, skin streaked with sweat and dust, and you lift your eyes to the feet of the 52-year-old master of the world. The sheer audacity of it freezes him in place. You did not sneak past Rome's security. You hacked it with a bag of dirty linen. By morning, Caesar is yours, and war comes to Alexandria. Your brother's forces fight Caesar's legions in the streets and the harbor, and when the tide turns against the boy king, Ptolemy XIII tries to flee across the Nile. But he has dressed for a god, in golden armor, plate upon heavy plate. The river takes him. The very gold that marked him a king drags him to the bottom and does not let go. Your first rival shareholder is gone, pulled under by the weight of his own treasure. You did not have to lift a hand. The Nile collected the debt for you.
Stop. Step outside the palace for one moment and look at the world you rule. Your subjects live, on average, 35 years. Their bread is ground in stone mills that shed fine desert grit into the flour, so every loaf is laced with sand. They chew it anyway. By 25, their teeth are worn to the root. And you drink wine cooled with real mountain snow, shipped at speed from the peaks of Lebanon, packed in straw, stored in insulated pits beneath your floor. The same sun shines on both of you. It is the only thing you share. Now turn to the next threat, because your bloodline is not done betraying you. Your younger sister, Arsinoe, has not been idle.
During the war, she had herself declared queen and led troops against you. After Caesar's victory, she is paraded through Rome in chains, but a captive Ptolemy is still a living claim to your throne, a rival the world can rally behind. Years later, she takes refuge in a sacred temple in Ephesus, believing holy ground will protect her. It does not. On your word, she is taken from the very steps of the sanctuary. The second shareholder is removed from the register. The board is shrinking, and you are the one shrinking it. But appearances must be kept. The Egyptian people need to see a king beside their queen. So you marry again. Your other surviving brother, Ptolemy XIV, a boy of 12. He signs the documents, he sits beside you on the throne, he smiles for the crowds, and for a while he is useful. Then he turns 15, and he begins to speak. He begins to think the crown on his head means his voice should count. He wants to vote in the shareholders' meeting. And here, around your 25th year, you make the decision that defines what kind of ruler you will be for the rest of your days. This is not strategy. This is a line you choose to cross with open eyes. You have just given birth to a son, Caesarion, the child of Caesar himself, and you decide that the divine blood of your dynasty will never again be split with a rival. Not a brother, not a sister, no one mortal. Only your own child will share your throne. So the boy king who shares your name quietly drinks a cup laced with aconite, and he troubles you no more. You place your infant son on the throne, in his seat. 3 brothers and a sister entered the game with you. You are the only one still standing. You are 25 years old. You speak 9 languages. You own the richest land on earth and a private fortune larger than empires. Every rival who shared your blood has been removed from the board, one by one. The defending is over. Now, the world is going to learn your name.
Other rulers leave their mark in stone. A pyramid, a palace, a wall you can touch 1,000 years later. But your signature on the world is something stranger and far more dangerous than any monument. You turn wealth itself into a weapon. You make your fortune so vast, so theatrical, so impossible to ignore that you bend the most powerful men on earth to your will without ever lifting a sword. Your monument is the legend of your riches, and you are about to build the greatest single act of it. Julius Caesar is gone now, taken from the world on the Senate floor, struck down 23 times by the men who feared his crown. You fled Rome, and out of the chaos rises a new master of the Roman world, the general Mark Antony. He summons you to the city of Tarsus in Asia Minor, expecting a defeated client queen to come crawling and explain herself. You decide, instead, to break his mind. You arrive up the river Cydnus aboard the Thalamagos, a floating palace 115 meters long. The entire stern is sheathed in thick plates of beaten gold that throw the sunlight back at the city like a second sun. The sails are not cloth, they are Tyrian purple, the rarest dye on earth, and here is what a single garment of it costs you. To make just 1 gram of that purple, laborers must crush and rot the glands of 10,000 sea snails. To dress in that color for an afternoon costs the price of a modern private jet, and you have hung it as your sails. The oars are tipped in solid silver, and they rise and fall into the water in perfect time with flutes and harps playing across the deck. You recline beneath a canopy of golden thread, painted as the goddess Aphrodite herself, while attendants burn hundreds of kilograms of incense and floral oils in braziers along the rails.
And here is the detail that wins the war before it begins. The wind blows toward the shore, so the entire city of Tarsus smells you, smells the burning myrrh and frankincense and rose, long before your golden ship ever crosses the horizon. The market's empty, the workers abandon their stalls. By the time you arrive, the most powerful man in the East is standing alone at an empty banquet table, because his whole city has run to the water to worship the scent of your fortune. Mark Antony never had a chance.
The two of you become the wealthiest power couple in the history of the ancient world. You even found a private club together, a fraternity you name the Inimitable Livers, and on idle nights the owners of the world dress in the filthy rags of peasants, slip out the back doors of the palace, and roam the taverns of the slums playing pranks, just to feel something. Boredom is the disease of those who own everything. But you never let Antony forget who holds the deeper purse. One night he mocks you, sneering that Egypt cannot match the banquets of Rome. You say nothing. You wager that you can consume 10 million sesterces, $20 million in modern money, in a single meal. He laughs and accepts. A servant brings you nothing but a plain glass cup filled with sharp, concentrated vinegar. You reach to your own ear and remove an earring holding one of the largest, most perfect natural pearls in human history, and you drop it into the cup. The room goes silent as the pearl hisses and dissolves into a pale, milky cloud. Then you lift the glass, hold the eyes of the most dangerous man in Rome, and you swallow the price of a luxury yacht in one mouthful for sport. Rome's pride dies on a tavern counter. He tries to win you back another way. Fishing from a small boat, he pays divers to fasten live fish to his hook underwater so he can haul up monsters and play the great man. You see the trick instantly. The next day, you invite the whole court to watch him fish, and you send your own diver down first. When Antony yanks his line in triumph, what flies out of the sea is a dried, salted, already cooked fish straight from the market. As the cord roars, you lean close and deliver the line that defines you. Leave the fishing rod to us, my love. Your sport is not catching little fish. It is catching cities, kingdoms, and continents. This is your life at its peak. Picture a single morning. Before dawn, a herd of 700 female donkeys is milked so you can soak in a long bath of soured milk. And modern science proves you right, because that sour milk is heavy with lactic acid, a chemical peel that melts the dead desert sun from your skin. Then your eyes are lined thick with black coal, ground from lead ore, your lips painted crimson from the crushed shells of beetles. You are draped in that $1 million purple, and you sit to work, dispatching business in 9 different languages, refusing translators when you meet your enemies' ambassadors, just so you can watch their faces fall when a goddess answers them in their own mother tongue. You drink that snow-chilled wine. You eat from gold. The air is always thick with myrrh.
And the numbers behind it stagger the mind. Egypt's tax machine pours 12 to 15,000 talents of silver into your private vaults every single year. A clean profit of roughly $2 billion in cold cash every 12 months. That single income equals nearly half of what the entire Roman Empire collects. When you once stayed in Rome and let your gold flow through the city, you loaned and spent so freely that the interest rate of the whole empire collapsed overnight, from 12% down to 4%. One woman, simply by opening her purse, rewrote the financial markets of the largest empire on earth. And then comes the day of your supreme glory. You are roughly 35 years old. In a great public ceremony in Alexandria, you and Mark Antony seat yourselves on 2 thrones of solid gold, set upon a silver platform before a vast crowd. You are dressed as the living goddess Isis, and one by one you call your children forward, and you hand them the world. Your son Caesarion is named King of Kings. Your other children are given Armenia, Media, Phoenicia, Cyrenaica, entire kingdoms of the Middle East distributed among toddlers like deeds in a board game. You are not dividing property, you are dividing continents, parceling out the ancient world to your own bloodline as if it were yours to give. In that moment, on that golden throne, you are the most powerful woman who has ever lived. You hold the East in your hands, and you give it away to your children with a wave. But 1,000 miles away, in Rome, a cold young man named Octavian is reading the list of those names aloud to the Senate. And as each kingdom you gave away leaves his lips, the room grows quieter and harder and colder. You have just signed your name across the whole world. You do not yet know that you have also signed something else.
Here is the truth the gold never tells you. You have never, for one single day of your life, been free. You were born into a family that taught you the first rule before you could walk. The cup at your lips might be the last thing you taste. You watched your father fear it. You watched cousins and uncles vanish from banquet tables. Trust to a Ptolemy is a luxury you were never allowed to purchase, not for all the silver in your vaults. So you grew into a woman who cannot believe a kindness, cannot accept a gift, cannot close her eyes at a feast. The richest woman alive, and you would trade a kingdom for one night of sleep without a guard at the door. And this is where the poison of your bloodline becomes something monstrous. Knowing what is coming, knowing Rome is sharpening itself against you, your terror takes a shape no one else would dare. Deep beneath the palace, in the damp lower chambers, you build a laboratory. You bring in those already sentenced, the condemned of Alexandria, and you have your physicians administer the venoms of the land one by one, the bite of the cobra, the toad, the juice of nightshade, of hemlock. And you sit nearby in a comfortable chair, a cup of wine in your hand and a tablet on your knee, and you simply watch. You note, cold as marble, which venom brings an ugly, thrashing, undignified struggle, and which brings a quiet, painless crossing, swift and serene, like falling asleep on a warm afternoon. You are not studying for sport, you are shopping. You are a queen calmly choosing the most graceful exit for herself years before she will need it. That is what the crown does to a mind. It turns even your own ending into a luxury purchase, something to be researched and selected like the finest wine. And you are utterly, completely alone.
Look around your golden table. Not one of these faces loves you. Every smile wants something, a contract, a title, a piece of your fortune. You have no friend you have not bought, no advisor who would not sell you by morning if Rome offered the better price. And the worst part is that you are too clever not to see it. You read 9 languages and 1,000 faces. You can spot the lie forming behind a man's eyes before he speaks it. So you see with perfect clarity that you are surrounded and that you are alone, and there is no one in the world you can say it to. Even your allies are already gone. Across the water, your supposed friend Herod, the king of Judea, has begun whispering to Antony that you are the problem, that you should be removed, and when the wind turns, Herod will be among the first to throw his loyalty at the feet of Rome. Your fleets, your legions, the men sworn to your gold, when the moment comes, they will lay down their arms and walk over to the other side without a fight. The board you spent your life clearing is about to clear itself of you. And on your shoulders, the whole time, sits the weight no one else can feel. 300 years of dynasty. Every ancestor back to Alexander's general is watching. If you fall, you do not fall alone. You take 3 centuries of your bloodline down with you, the last queen of a line that ruled the richest land on earth. No decision you have ever made was only yours. You were never just a woman. You were the final wall holding up the house, and you have always known that walls are built to be pushed down.
Here is the paradox that has shaped your entire life, and it is about to end it. You were born never having to ask anyone for anything, and that is exactly why, when the end comes for you, you will not know how to ask for help. You will only know how to perform. You are not yet 40 years old. You own a fortune of $96 billion. You hold the most fertile land on the planet, and every fleet, every ally, every sworn friend is quietly slipping toward the door. The cold young man in Rome is no longer just reading your name aloud. He is coming for it. The war is lost. At the naval battle of Actium, your fleet broke, and now the cold young man, Octavian, has marched his legions into the streets of your shining marble city. Antony is already gone from the world, fallen on the loss of everything. And you understand, with that mind that reads 9 languages and 1,000 faces, exactly what waits for you if you are taken alive. It is not the end you fear. You stopped fearing that long ago, in a damp chamber with a cup of wine and a tablet on your knee. What you fear is the parade. Octavian's dream is to drag you to Rome in chains of solid gold, to lock the living goddess in a cage and roll her through the filthy streets while the mob spits at the face of Isis. He does not want your kingdom. He has that already. He wants you. The trophy, the spectacle, the final humiliation of the richest woman who ever lived. You decide he will not have it. You seal yourself inside your great fortified tomb, surrounded by everything you own, chests of emeralds and pearls and gold, heaped on straw soaked in oil. Your message to Octavian is simple. Break down this door, and I will set fire to the greatest fortune on earth, and you will inherit nothing but ash. Even cornered, you are still negotiating with the one weapon you have always understood, your treasure. And inside, while Roman axes bite at the bronze hinges, you prepare. You do not weep. You do not run. You take a long, hot bath in fragrant oils. You dress in the heaviest, most magnificent regalia of the pharaohs, the gold catching what little light remains. You line your eyes one last time, and you sit down upon your sacred golden throne, a goddess composing the final image of herself. A farmer, bribed with living gold, has carried a simple basket of fat desert figs past the Roman guards, the fruit hidden under broad green leaves. You know exactly what sleeps in the dark beneath that fruit, because your research in the chamber below gave you the answer long ago. The swift one, the serene one, the kiss that brings the quiet crossing. You reach your hand deep into the basket, and you wake the asp coiled in the shadows. The strike is quick and fine, a thread of cold. Your heart slows like a tide going out. When Octavian's storm troops finally shatter the last oak barrier and burst in with war cries on their lips, they freeze where they stand. There is no struggle, no mark, no disorder. You are seated upon your throne, draped in gold, calm and cold and perfect as carved marble, a queen who has simply stepped out of the world on her own terms. At your feet, your loyal servant Charmion, fading herself,
spends the very last strength left in her body to reach up and straighten the crown upon your head. You robbed Rome of the one thing it wanted most: the cage, the parade, the trophy. Octavian conquered Egypt, but he never got to conquer you. You were 39 years old. And now, hear what became of all of it. Your $96 billion fortune, the gold of Egypt, the grain, the land itself, flows straight into Octavian's hands. He uses your treasure to pay his soldiers and fund his rise, and so much Egyptian gold pours into Rome that once again the interest rates of the entire empire collapse. Your wealth reshaped Rome's economy one final time from beyond the grave. Your son, Caesarion, the boy you made king of kings, does not survive the new order. And Egypt, the richest kingdom on earth, ruled by your bloodline for 300 years, ceases to exist as a free land. It becomes a private farm for Rome. You are the last pharaoh. The line ends with you.
That is the bitter truth of your kind. Everything you defended was lost. The dynasty fell. The kingdom vanished. The gold changed hands. And yet, 2,000 years later, the whole world still knows your name. Not the name of the man who beat you, yours. You lost the kingdom and won eternity. You became the most famous woman who has ever lived. So here is the question I leave you with, and I want your answer below. If you could live one single year inside that golden life, knowing exactly how it ends, would you take it?